Appointment today.
Missouri and Oklahoma voters decide school bonds and tax issues in municipal elections. The latest on the search for 3 missing teens in southwest Missouri. Details from the Joplin Police Department's annual crime report.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Taxes, school issues, and municipal races brought voters to the polls today in some Missouri and Oklahoma communities. This is KOAM News at 10. We start in Nevada, Missouri, where a couple of school issues were on the ballot. Both received more than the 4/7 majority needed to pass. A $13.75 million proposal will increase property taxes to fund school repairs throughout the district. It passed by a more than 2-to-1 margin. Also in the Nevada School District, voters overwhelmingly approved a $12.25 million plan for a new elementary school. Another $10 million will be provided by a donation from Lee and Maxine Weber. A Carl Junction school issue also required 4/7 approval. By a 3-to-1 margin, voters approved a $7 million plan for safety improvements and building repairs for such things as roofs, windows, and HVAC improvements. Also on the ballot in Carl Junction, a proposal to impose a use tax on some out-of-state purchases equal to the current local sales tax. It would have applied when annual purchases exceed $2,000, but more than 60% of voters said no to that idea. Voters in Neosho, Missouri narrowly rejected a similar use tax proposal. The vote was 468 no to 438 yes. Staying in Newton County, the ambulance district asked for the authority to reset the property tax levy. Voters gave a thumbs up to that proposal. Barton County voters were asked whether they'd support a property tax to maintain a sheltered workshop or residence facility for the disabled. More than 60% of voters said yes to that idea. We're going to have more area election returns in a few minutes. You can also find all these results and many more on our website, koamnewsnow.com/elections. Moving on for now, 3 teens in Jasper County are reported missing, and the Jasper County Sheriff's Office is trying to find them. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with the Jasper County Sheriff and a worried family member.
3 teens have run away from an undisclosed location in Jasper County. The girls have been identified as 14-year-old Alexis Crawford, 16-year-old Morgan Holderman, and 14-year-old Jasmine Marie Holiday. The teens were last seen on April 3rd at a Yesway on 7th and State Line. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office is currently searching for these girls.
We have detectives that are working on following up on leads from some locations that they have been seen at since they ran away, and the basically trying to track down their whereabouts through following up on those leads.
They've been in contact with the missing teens' families, which has led them to other possible leads of the girls' whereabouts. The teens are believed to be together in the Jasper County area.
Well, it's providing some information on other, possible leads that we can follow up on. And that's really where we're at right now, is just trying to, find acquaintances and friends of where they might be at and going to those locations and looking for them.
Sammy Crawford, the aunt of Alexis Crawford, asks anyone with knowledge of the missing girls to reach out to the Jasper County Sheriff's Office or the teens' families.
Want anyone who sees her, anyone who has contact with her, to reach out to law enforcement, to family, and let us know, because we're all worried sick, and she's not a bad girl. She's an amazing kid, and she has such a good heart.
Crawford adds her family has been searching themselves, utilizing social media.
We've tried reaching out on social media to try to get a hold of her in case she's logged on to social media throughout different platforms, and we're just hoping for the best.
The Jasper County Sheriff's Office says the public should be on the lookout for the missing teens, and if they spot them, to report it to local authorities. In Jasper County, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
If you have any information about the missing girls, you should contact the Jasper County Sheriff's Office. The Joplin Police Department has released its annual report, which shows crime is down overall in the city. Chief Roland Sloan says they saw an overall 9% drop in crime in 2020. 2 of the biggest drops were traffic related. There were increases in violent crime in the city, such as homicides and assaults. However, there was a decrease in reports of domestic violence, which actually has caused concern.
Several national schools have thought on that, or whether they're being reported as much as they were before or coming into the light, like with, being locked at home. A lot of people aren't seeing as many incidents of child abuse and domestic violence and things as when they're going to school or they're out in the public.
Officials say if you or someone you know is in a domestic violence situation, you should contact local law enforcement or an agency like the Lafayette House for help. It's been a year now since Missouri's stay-at-home order took effect. It was April 6th of 2020. The statewide stay-at-home order went into effect, closing most public businesses in response to the pandemic. The city of Joplin's local stay-at-home order went into effect a year ago as well to align with the state order. But Mayor Ryan Stanley says looking back, it might have been done too soon.
Because we went to one where the risk really wasn't near as significant as it was going to be later on, that we now know was going to be later on. But at the same time, there was just so much uncertainty. And remember, we're going to stop the spread or we're going to flatten the curve, and we thought this would be temporary when it really was not.
When the Missouri stay-at-home order was put into place, there were just under 3,000 confirmed cases and just under 50 deaths in the state. Orders were lifted on May 3rd, just under a month after that shutdown started. A liberal Missouri man is charged with first-degree involuntary manslaughter after a fatal crash in February. The Missouri Highway Patrol said 44-year-old Ryan O'Neill drove a pickup southbound on Highway 43, 2 miles north of Joplin, and that O'Neill crashed head-on into an SUV driven by 23-year-old Sevy Davison of Oronogo. Davison was pronounced dead at Mercy Hospital. At last report, authorities had not yet arrested O'Neill. He'll face a $50,000 cash bond on that involuntary manslaughter charge. Checking in with Nick Kelly now. Some rain chances moving into the area.
Slowly but surely, they're trying to head our way down, but for the most part, we got through the day on a pretty quiet note overall. A low of 61 and a high of 76. Those are the official numbers at Joplin Regional for today. Outside right now, maybe a few random showers in southwestern parts of Missouri skirting around the Joplin area. Otherwise, most of the area is quiet. However, a severe thunderstorm watch does clip Coffee and Anderson counties on the Kansas side until 2 o'clock in the morning, all ahead of that complex of thunderstorms that is working across central, north central Kansas from about Great Bend up to Salina. We're still expecting some of that thunderstorm areas to expand as it tries to head our way. Right now, though, temperatures are holding steady right around 70 degrees. We'll keep an eye on those storms as they work in overnight. They'll try to clip our northern counties, but as that cold front rolls in, we'll see additional rain and thunderstorms to take us through the day tomorrow. We'll break down the rest of tomorrow and the rest of the forecast here in a bit, though.
All right, catch you in a few. Still ahead, authorities released more details about the shooting of 2 U.S. Navy sailors in Frederick, Maryland. And President Biden taps a well-known Missourian to head up the General Services Administration. But first, more election results. Shooting broke out this morning in Frederick, Maryland, about 45 miles northwest of Washington, D.C. A Navy sailor opened fire, injuring 2, then headed to a nearby military base. Femi Redwood has the story.
The military confirms it was a Navy medic who opened fire at a business complex near Maryland's Fort Detrick.
Our shooter today, our suspect has been identified as 38-year-old Fantahoon, middle name Gurma, and I'm going to spell the last name for you. Woldesенbet.
Frederick police say the suspect used a rifle to shoot 2 sailors at a military institution at the Riverside Tech Park, then drove to the Fort Detrick base about 10 minutes away. He made it through a gate and onto the property before being confronted and killed by base personnel.
They were able to stop him in a parking lot He then brandished a weapon, and our police department was able to neutralize the subject.
The two victims were airlifted to a Baltimore hospital.
I just want to send the city's wishes to the families of the victims in the hopes for quick recoveries.
Police said there were no remaining risks to the public, but described the incident as terrible and tragic, something that's becoming all too frequent.
Every time we turn on the TV, we're seeing something like this happen, and now it's happening in our backyard, so no one wants to see this type of thing.
The Navy confirms the shooter was on active duty, assigned to the Fort Detrick base. Police continue to investigate a motive for the violence. Femi Redwood, CBS News, New York.
Officials say one victim is in critical condition. The other was released from the hospital this evening. President Biden says he plans to nominate former Missouri Secretary of State Robin Carnahan as administrator of the General Services Administration. It's a powerful position whose previous occupant played a role in his delayed transition to the presidency. Carnahan worked at GSA between 2016 and 2020. Carnahan is a fellow at Georgetown University's Beek Center for Social Impact and Innovation. She co-founded the center's State Software Collaborative, which works with state agencies to streamline and share use of general services software. She's also the daughter of former Missouri Governor Mel Carnahan and his wife, former U.S. Senator Jean Carnahan. Missouri's outgoing U.S. Senator Roy Blunt tweeted his endorsement of Carnahan. Nick Kelly is up next with his complete forecast. And later, the host Carthage Tigers take the field in the Bill O'Dell baseball tournament.
We have kept things pretty quiet overall for today, but we're watching storms out west. I want to try to change things up as we go not just into the overnight, but into our Wednesday as we finally hit the middle of the week. Overall, a quiet looking day from Indigo Sky out across Seneca, Missouri, and all across the area. Much of you stayed quiet for today, but as we take it to the radar network, we do see a couple of stray showers out in southwestern parts of Missouri. Nothing too crazy out of that, but I want to bring this to your attention. Not a big severe thunderstorm watch, but it does clip Coffee and Anderson counties until 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's all because of the complex of thunderstorms still working across central parts of Kansas. It's past Salina now, and it's starting to finally work away from Great Bend, Kansas. But this batch of thunderstorms had developed just ahead of our cold front that is finally working in the central parts of Kansas, and that will try to trigger more rain and even some more thunderstorms as we go into tomorrow morning. In the meantime, though, you can see how quiet it looks over Joplin. We are sitting at 70 with mostly cloudy skies, a southeast breeze at about 15 miles per hour. The rest of the Joplin metro is holding firm with temperatures right around 70 as expected. Everyone else mainly in the upper 60s to about 70, 71 degrees. But with this cold front on the way, it's going to be an interesting day for tomorrow as far as temperatures go, because at midnight, I see Joplin at 68, and I think that's our high for tomorrow. We'll see temperatures drop into the mid-60s for the morning and then lower 60s as we get on the backside of the cold front as it works on through. So let me take you back to the maps and let's plot the surface features for you. You can see that cold front slicing across central Kansas. That is the front that'll continue to drive thunderstorm chances our way and try to spawn some more rain and storms as it works in tomorrow morning. Not to mention this upper low coming out of Colorado, that's going to continue to allow the thunderstorms to hold on through the night and, again, like the front, push them our way. This run of the future track showing exactly where the storms were about an hour ago. And as we continue on through the overnight, here's midnight, still waiting for the edge of the storms to work into our far northern counties. And we do mean, if this projection holds true, skirting our very far northern counties. But note the winds shifting from the south ahead of the I-35 corridor to the west. That's the cold front, and that will try to spark additional rain and storms as it starts rolling in as we head into tomorrow morning. So for the morning, we start at 64. We'll watch for thunderstorm chances in the morning. We'll try to hold on around lunchtime, but then that front gets rid of any thunderstorm chances. But the backside of the system could try to bring a few showers our way as they, again, the wraparound moisture tries to keep some rain chances around. Now, in terms of the storms for tonight, Still a low severe threat from about Chanute, Bronson, Uniontown, Fredonia, Howard, points north and west. And again, it's going to be mainly our very far northern counties that looks like to get the brunt of the action between midnight and 5 a.m. But any of the storms overnight, we'll keep an eye out for high wind gusts up to 60 or 65 miles per hour and potentially some large hailstones as well. The backside of the system sticks around for Thursday, and if the system will let me get to the 7-day forecast, we'll see highs in around 67 on Thursday. Still mild as we slowly get rid of any remaining rain chances. I want to watch another wave Friday afternoon and Friday night. That could probably bring some strong storms in with highs here 77. We'll dry Saturday down with highs here 65. Then I'll watch for additional storms late Sunday and into Monday.
For the most part, it looks like prospects for a pretty pleasant weekend, though.
Overall, yeah, we're looking good.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, Pittsburgh hosts an SEK rivalry matchup against Fort Scott. And a Joplin track athlete puts his name in the record books. Jacob Leonard's up next with the story.
Well, today is day 2 of the Bill O'Dell baseball tournament in Carthage. Now, the tournament host Tigers had the first day off on Monday. Today, though, Carthage on the field for their first game of the week against Monette. The first and second for Kane and Vogt in the bottom of the first. Vogt finds empty space out there in left center. Nate Norbury and Caden Kralichek both come in to score. Carthage goes up 2-0 after 1. The next inning, Caden R on the mound for Carthage. Check it out. Perfect move, perfect throw. Picks off the runner at second. Game is still 2-0. The second inning was a big one at the plate for the Tigers. Vogt with the bases loaded. Going back to work into the left field corner. All three come around to score. Pushes the lead to 6. Then Grant Collier, almost the same spot. That brings in another. Plenty of offense today, but Carthage goes on to win it 17-7. To Pittsburgh now, SEK rivalry matchup here between the Purple Dragons and Fort Scott Tigers. On top of the first, Eli Kellogg. Back up the middle, RBI ground out, brings Spencer Goldston home. Tigers up early. Bottom half now, Braden Benson past the pitcher. Beats the throw to first, Brandon Freeman scores. It's 2-2 after 1. To the fourth now, Cole Jamison. I love a good bunt. That one to the right side, the throw to first is off. Ethan Rhodes scores. Then Jacob Linehan on third. Draws the bad throw. He will score. Pittsburgh pulls away to win at 12-2. With that win, Dragons head coach Keith Matlock now has 100 career wins. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas on the road tonight against Washburn. It's against the league opponent, but technically a non-conference game today. Gorillas win big 11-1. Dawson Pomeroy goes 2 for 4 with a home run and a pair of RBIs. Joplin High School track athlete Donovan Fowler has put his name in the record books. And as just a junior, he's aiming to keep making history and earn a shot to continue his career at the next level.
It did not take long for Donovan Fowler to make school history.
I thought it would at least take a few meets to get up there. I didn't think it would happen so quickly.
Fowler won the long jump in Joplin's first meet of the season last Thursday with a jump of 23 feet, 10 inches. That mark smashes the previous school record by 15 inches.
We knew he was going to hit some big jumps this year. We knew that he would probably break that record, probably break more records, but to see it the first meet of the year, that was awesome to see.
COVID-19 erased his sophomore track season in 2020. Fowler is hoping to use this year to break more records and get the attention of college programs.
Last season, I didn't get that option, so I'm really trying to make the most of the opportunities that I'm getting right now.
Last year as a sophomore, we were hoping to have a big season for him, but you lose that season, and so I think he's hungry and he's ready to kind of make up for that lost season.
While he's already made history, Fowler wants more.
His goals are bigger than right here. So, winning the Carthage Invitational isn't the end of the road for him. He's competing against people all across the nation, so we're comparing his marks week in, week out to people all over the nation.
He hopes to earn the opportunity to compete after high school before turning around and helping the next generation break records of their own.
I'm trying to just take it as far as I can, whether it be long and triple or just one or the other. And after that, I'm just going to try to help kids become the best jumpers that they can be.
Joplin will be in action on Friday at the Pitt State Invitational before hosting their own Invitational next week. Former Carl Junction standout Katie Scott is looking for a new home in the college game. Scott has made the decision to transfer after playing her freshman season at Grand Canyon University in Arizona. She was the Conference Freshman of the Year for GCU this season and was a first-team All-League selection. But in the end, Scott says she just wants to play closer to home.
With the extra year, there's the possibility that you stay at college for 5 years. And I was just thinking to myself how many things I've missed in this 1 year. And that's not exactly something I want for myself going forward. So I just knew that I wasn't ever going to be fully comfortable this far from home, and that I would be doing myself and Coach Miller a favor if I was honest to myself and my priorities. And family is just too high of a priority for me, so I felt like I have to be closer to home.
You can check out more from Scott in this story on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Sergeant Claire Moore. The Galena, Kansas native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Sergeant Claire Moore, tonight's four-state hero. A lock of George Washington's hair has sold for nearly $40,000. Leland's auction house says the multiple strands have been stored in a handmade brass and glass locket for years. They're believed to have been removed from Washington's head close to or after his death in 1799. The bidding started at $1,000 in February. 45 bids later, the price rose to $39,921, or just a hair short of $40,000. Doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, something like that is more rare than some of the electronics that sell for a zillion bucks. Okay, quick look at the weather.
All right, we'll watch for storms overnight into tomorrow with highs at 68 and dropping, and more rain and storms Thursday and Friday.
We'll see you tomorrow. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.